When I work in the cancer community and I have a room full of patients, caregivers, survivors, maybe some medical professionals, doctors and nurses and things all mixed in together, and we talk about what happens in the moment that someone is diagnosed with cancer, how that suddenly seems to throw their identity in question, right? Up until this moment, I was a mother, I was a lawyer, but then as soon as the doctor said, "I'm sorry to tell you, you have cancer," suddenly those two things didn't change. You're still a mother, you're still a lawyer, you're still, someone who goes to this church or volunteers at this place or coaches little league girls baseball or whatever this woman is. You're still all of those things. Now on top of it, you're taking on another layer. It's like you're putting on another layer of clothes. Now you're going to be a cancer patient with all of those other things, but that's not going to replace all of those other things. That's what happens for a lot of people, that them becoming diagnosed, then for some, if they don't have real security in who they are otherwise and what their roles are in life, that can erase all of them, or that can put them all under threat. And that's what I try to help people navigate through. My father had cancer, and he passed away a long time ago in 1987 from leukemia. And back then, there were no patient services. There were no patient caretaker, family services. There was nothing. The doctor said this, and you said, okay, doctor knows. I don't, and what are you going to do? Go to the library and read an 800-page medical book that you can't understand most of it to find out what they're talking about? There was no online world that existed to do research. It was also a bit of a taboo, a bit of a stigma, just the same way like back then, if there was a family in the neighborhood going through the divorce, it was really kind of hush-hush. Don't talk about divorce. Ooh, that person has cancer. Don't talk about it because you might catch it if you do. A lot of people were living in the closet for a lot of different reasons. Cancer was sort of, don't talk about it because it might creep into our life too, or it's like a pariah kind of a thing. So for years I didn't realize it until I did this book and then the things after. I didn't get into this stuff because of my father, but I realized once I started to do it that it made sense, because there were so many unanswered questions, and it's taking storytelling and using storytelling as a positive force. Right for Life, Communicating Your Way Through Cancer, which was the first edition of the book. And then just this past year, Right for Life, Communicating Your Way Through Cancer and Chronic Disease, which is kind of a logical extension of it. So all the same principles that are in there, or 90+% of them, apply not only to cancer, but to people who are challenged by dealing with other chronic illnesses that have side effects and that have short-term issues and long-term issues, both physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And so almost 10 years ago, I started to do workshops. I did this book called The Cancer Book, 101 Stories of Courage, Support, and Love. And this was published by Chicken Soup for the Soul Publishing, which is a pretty big brand of stuff. They do a lot of different books. So this is a book I put together for them only on, cancer-related stuff, aptly called The Cancer Book. And when that book came out, I was asked to put together workshops that could be done in cancer centers. And I found in these cancer centers, I was traveling around the country doing these, and there was one woman in particular up in Boston at Harvard University at the Beth Deaconess Hospital there that's connected with Harvard, Hester Hill Schnipper. That was an incredible woman. She ran a lot of oncology services up there. patient services were one of her domains. And her husband was the chief surgeon for that whole hospital. She said, David, some people can't come to your workshops. You got to put a book out or something that I can give to these people so they lose out. They don't, even if they can't be there, or, new people come in. What about the people who get diagnosed next week and you're not going to be here? And so she was really the incentive for me to do this book. And I'm forever grateful to her for doing it, for pushing me. And it wasn't really hard to do. It was really a labor of love, and really let me put my own stamp on a personal way. That there were no rules, sort of. I had to find a way to structure this book. And once I figured out a way that I could structure it, I could pretty much kind of go anywhere and use different parts of who I am and what I feel and what my energies are, and bring that into a book where people can take it and use it and make it their own, and stretch it and bend it and own it for themselves, for them and whoever is in their immediate circle.